Alright, continuing on here, this is our main wheel, which we just went through, and I showed you all the different systems and games that are on here in the main wheel. Now we're going to go into just our arcade game. So I'm going to hit the one-player start button, and it's going to bring up our list here. And as you can see, I'm kind of starting on M here. That just picks up with the last game I left off on. So if you shut your machine off and turn it back on again, it's going to pick up where you left off. Which is kind of nice. So if you have a game that you play a lot, it'll always start with that one. If I push the joystick and hold it to the left or to the right, it's going to bring up this nice little alphabet here, and I can skip through just by a letter of the alphabet. And this is just in the M.A.M.E games now, the arcade section here. And I'm going to sort through, let's just go back to M here, just because I want to show you a game in here. And because I want to go see Moon Patrol, just for instance, here to show you how the menu works. I'm going to hold down and select M here, and starting at the bottom of the alphabet in M here, you can see I start with M.A. And because Moon Patrol is M.O., I'm going to actually go to N and go back, because it's a little faster. So you can, as I'm scrolling through here, you'll probably see some games that you remember, Miss Pac-Man. Oh yeah, we got that. And you know, so many other games. Here's Mr. Do. This happens to be my favorite game. And you can see we have nice little animations for almost every game on this system, especially the arcade games. But as you stop and you wait there, it'll show you the menu of the actual movie of the game playing, and the sounds and characters and all sorts of fun stuff. Here's Mortal Kombat. Keep scrolling through here. Get to Moon Patrol. Now when I get to Moon Patrol, it's going to show me our nice little video of the game running here, and as well as our characters and a neat little animation here on the bottom to kind of highlight the game here. A lot of neat things. You can just scroll through the menu and enjoy every second of that once you get your machine. But if I actually want to load up the game, I'm just going to hit the one-player start button. And as the game comes up here, it's actually picking up where I left off. Oops, I just died. Because the game saves are enabled. So if you can play this one game, get to the 15th level, exit out, play 50 other games, and come back and pick up where you left off. And when you're in here, you can get in and we can do a lot of different neat things. One being that we can pause the game. If I hold down one player start and push down, it's going to pause the game, and it's going to take me into this little menu here. And this is a neat menu because it can show you what the control panel looked like. And obviously this isn't the original control panel from the machine, but it'll show you the functions, you know, slower, faster. If you can see this, fire, jump, and just the button layouts, which is kind of nice. You can see how things work. Now if I go into game info, this is going to tell me originally what size the screen was, a little bit about how it's emulated, whether it's perfect, if it's not perfect, if save state is enabled for it, so you can automatically save your game without having to do anything. It tells you the year the game was made, the type of game, as far as the genre goes, shooter, driving, horizontal, the number of players, 2 players, the version of M.A.M.E that it was added to, which probably doesn't really concern you, but it means something to us, and some other information that's probably not that useful. Game history is pretty neat. This actually gives you tips and tricks about the game, tells you, you know, how the game was played, technical aspects about how the machine was made, the hardware that it originally ran on, screen orientation, lots and lots of stuff here, trivia, and there's going to be more or less depending on the game and its popularity. But this is a real neat menu here as well. If we go to MAME info, it just tells you how to get into test mode and some other interesting things here. Whether you actually ever use it is probably not going to happen, but it's there. High scores, it'll actually tell you per 2009, these are some of the people that held the high scores online for the game. Then we can exit back out, or you can just leave it on the screen, go eat dinner, come back, and pick up right where you left off. And it's going to pick up, and we'll just unpause it, one player start and down again, and we'll pick up right where we left off. Now, some other neat functions. We can get in, we can change the volume, we can turn the volume up or down. You can do that by holding the one player start button and pushing up on the joystick, on the one player joystick. So you can turn it up or down in the game itself. We can get into another neat menu here, which is called our config menu. And this is real neat because you can actually get in, and if you go to input this game, you can actually change the inputs for the game. So if you want to play it on the second player side, you can do that. If you want to change your button configuration around, you can do that as well. And it's all on screen here. You don't need any special hardware, keyboard, mouse, anything like that. You can just do it right here, right on screen. So we can get around. Let's say if I want to change my one button from this normal position here to the second position, I'm just going to highlight player 1, button 1, clear it out, and then I can push a different button. And it's going to assign that to the second button then. If I want to go back, I just arrow down once, back up to it again, clear it out, and put it back where it was. Then I can return to the prior menu and return to game and pick up, and it'll be completely different as far as your controls, so however you want it to be laid out. If I bring that menu back up again, one player start and right on the one player joystick. Input general is if you want to change everything all at once for every single game in the arcade list here. I would say you probably don't want to do that ever, but if for some reason you always want your fire button to be not here, but on number 3, or something like that on every game, you know, change it universal for everything, you can do it right in here. Let me go back to the main menu here. Dip switch settings. This is a neat menu. You can actually get in and turn things on and off just like on the original board. So we can change the difficulty, we can enable some cheats here, the number of lives, things like that. Let me go back. Bookkeeping information just tells us how long we've been playing the game. It's been running now for 7 minutes. The number of coins that you played on it. Game information just kind of shows you that same stuff that we just went through on the other menu. Just tells you the original hardware, what it ran at as far as frequency, the resolution of the screen, things like that. Slider controls is all of our functions that we got into a little bit before, but this is more of a graphical layout of them. So instead of holding down one player, start and pushing up to bring it down on the bottom here, we actually get a nice little menu here so you can see everything at once. And you can change the brightness and lots of other different things that you probably don't want to mess with, but nothing that you're going to hurt if you do. We can change the aspect ratio. We can put it in cocktail mode so it'll actually split the screen. I can show you that. So it actually, if you play this on a cocktail table, 2 players can sit across from each other and still be able to see the screen properly. Obviously it cuts it in half and shrinks it down a little bit, but it makes it possible to play anything on a cocktail table, even a double-sided one with a control panel on each side of the table. Alright, let me switch that back just so we can see what we're doing correctly. It enables you to bring up backdrops and things like that. Now in a horizontal game like this, it's going to fill the screen all the way, so you're not going to have backdrops. But when I load up a vertical game here and show you that, bringing in a backdrop or taking it away actually brings in our bezel artwork, so it fills in the black spots on the side, so you get the full game vertically, but you fill in that black that's left over without having to stretch anything out or anything like that. So that's also neat to do with your vertical type games. Cheats. We can get in here, we can change infinite time, so you have forever to finish the level. And this depends on the games. Each game is different, it'll have different cheats, but it's a lot of neat things to get in and make those games that you remember a lot more fun and to get farther. And you can turn them on and off in the game as you go as well. So you can get to the 12th level and say you want to pick up back at normal speed or normal difficulty, or not be invincible anymore. You can turn it right off and continue the game, and you will die if you get eaten or whatever in the game. You will die if something happens instead of being invincible. And then if we return to game, we're just back to the main menu screen here. That pretty much shows you the in-game stuff. Next I'm going to go through and show you how to make a favorites list right in Hyperspin and sort by genre, so you can narrow down the list a little bit by the type of games that you like to play, whether it's shooting, fighting, bowling, whatever type of games.